If you guys didn't know, this is Pythagoras right here. He is the most popular Greek philosopher accredited for making the observation of boats disappearing from bottom up when moving away from an observer at a shoreline over the ocean. Let's do a thought experiment. If me and you are out at this shoreline right here, looking out to the horizon and we see no boats, the assumption would be, if we were on a spherical Earth, that those boats have gone over the horizon, correct? What if I told you we can prove that wrong by zooming in on the apparent horizon? And you can actually resolve boats back again, proving that they didn't go over a physical or geometric curve. You see, no boats. They've all gone over the curvature of the Earth, right? Is it a boat? I wonder if it's more to do with perspective, angular resolution, and Rayleigh's criterion. All that they did, guys, was take perspective and reverse engineer it and say that it was an artifact of the Earth being a ball. As an object, like a boat, goes further and further away from an observer, just like these trees here, let's assume they're all the same size, as they get further and further away, they decrease in angular size, causing their angular size to become unresolvable due to Rayleigh's criterion. This is Rayleigh's criterion. As two sources of light get closer and closer together, they become one. They essentially become indistinguishable. You guys have never seen somebody demonstrate this with a quarter and a table? It's really mind-blowing, to be honest. I think you'll enjoy it, Globers. I think this guy puts it very elegantly, so I'll play the clip for you now.
Now you Globers are going to sit at home and say that table is just higher than the observer height or the camera height. Now let's get that sorted quick smart. When we zoom in, we increase the focal length and increase the angular resolution. And we can resolve that coin in its entirety. As you can see, the bottom of the coin shining.
Everything is perspective, and it can't be reverse engineered to just trick everyone to think the Earth's a ball, okay? The rising and lowering of the sun over the course of the year, the rising and lowering of stars when you're getting more north or south, all can be explained by perspective, and none of them necessitate that the Earth is a spinning, wobbling space pear. I went over this a little bit in my last video, but perspective quite literally controls all of our observations, because when we make observations, we use our eyes. So the ground ramps up, the sky ramps down. I mean, if you just look up the definition of the horizon, let's just look at it real quick. The apparent intersection of the Earth and sky as seen by an observer. This apparent intersection is created by perspective, and you have to take it into account when making any observations, especially ones which claim the sphericity of the Earth. So if you ever hear anybody saying that boats going over the horizon or things disappearing from bottom up prove that the Earth's a ball, simply laugh at them for me. They're closest to the convergence point of perspective necessitated by angular resolution as well as Rayleigh's criterion. Perspective is everything, friends. The Earth is flat.
No, guys, Minecraft did not add space travel to the game. I know it looks like it. It's all pixelated. This is clearly CGI. Not even video game level. Wouldn't even give this to Hollyweird. This is just not, it's just getting better and better. Please tell me you're not buying it.
If the Earth is flat, why does the sun appear to rise and set? It's because the sun is not actually rising and setting. In the morning, the sun gets closer to you. In the evening, the sun gets further away from you. This is Psalms 19:5. It's talking about the sun. And rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. What do you notice about a racetrack? It moves in a circuit. Or in a circle. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit, oh, there it is, unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Alright, so the sun and the moon actually move in a circuit type fashion around the flat earth. This is where we get clocks from. Alright, it's like a racetrack. See? It goes around and around and around. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. Right? It's moving in a circuit, which is why it's able to go back to the same place where it arose, right? Because it's moving in a circuit. It goes right back to where my finger is, look. So the reason it appears to rise and set is really just because it's either getting further away or it's getting closer to you. Right? The reason it appears to be rising is because it's getting closer to me. Imagine there was an airplane all the way over there, super far away. It would appear to be right above those trees, right? If it was really far away, but the closer it got to me, it wouldn't change altitude. It would just look like it's higher up in the sky, right?
Could somebody explain to me how NASA can get data from 4 billion miles away, but I keep losing my Wi-Fi signal in the kitchen?
Moons don't pull water? It deforms the sphere of Earth. What? Luke's calling me out, saying I have wrong information about the heliocentric model, and I want to check him on it. I said according to the heliocentric model, the moon and sun pulls the water around the globe, creating tides, and he said wrong. A quick Google search will provide you with the information. I said, bet. I went ahead and Googled it. You know, he said a quick Google search. So, does the moon pull water on Earth? On the near side of the Earth, the side facing the moon, the gravitational force of the moon pulls the ocean's water towards it, creating one bulge. I think that's pretty clear. So that's a common misconception I see quite often, is that people believe they know their model, but they end up not knowing it. I'm not sure what it is, but I was there. I was there before I became a flat earther. There were things I thought I knew about the globe, and then I looked into it and I realized, oh, that's not exactly as I thought previously. And that affects reality for them, because he believes that it deforms the sphere of Earth. He told me to look into it. I just wanted to look into it and, put this out there for people, that there's a lot of things that you might not actually know about the heliocentric model, and there were things that I didn't know, and when I looked into them, they made me start thinking like, okay, well, this doesn't actually make all that much sense. And compared to the flat earth model, the flat earth model's Occam's razor. It's a little more simple, a little more understandable. Just make sure you guys study your model so you know what you really believe in, because this could be you. Stay flat, my buds.
So check this out, guys. This is the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, and its top speed is 2,200 miles an hour. Also, the SR-71 can fly at altitudes above 80,000 feet. Let's just think about it for a minute. If the Lockheed can go over 2,000 miles an hour, how much curvature should it account for to stay at the same altitude? So again, its top speed, 2,200 miles an hour, and let's just say there's 2,200 miles between point A and point B. That means that there would be 570 miles of curvature drop between the 2 points of reference. That means the Lockheed will be dipping 9.5 miles per minute, or 836 feet per second. Did y'all catch the last part? 836 feet per second. But let's just see what NASA has to think about planes flying over the Earth. This is NASA's document 1207, called Derivation and Definition of a Linear Aircraft Model. Summary: this report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Wait, what? Flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth, as well as a helicopter, a mathematical model of the CH-53 helicopter. The helicopter equations of motion are given in body axis with respect to a flat, non-rotating Earth. Only one problem with that. Why would they assume any planet, let alone Earth, to be flat and non-rotating? Think about it. When they tell us we live on this ball, spinning, processing through space,
No, they would never fake the International Space Station, would they? Try this yourself. See what you find. Keep watching here. Even when you look into the speed that the space station is supposed to be going, it's ridiculous. 17,000 miles per hour. It would be doing loops every 2 hours. It's a plane up there, guys. It's literally a plane, and they fake it with this. They put things in plain sight to relieve themselves of bad karma. Look at this. It's right there. Go try it yourself.
In mechanical engineering, when you want to toughen or harden a piece of material, a steel, an iron, a carbon-based steel, yeah, what you do is you stick it in a forge, and it heats it up till it's red hot, and it goes orange, yeah. And you know it's at the right temperature to quench. So what you do is you quench that in water, and it freezes the molecules, okay, into a particular form, and that gives you a hardened, what they call case hardened structure on the outside of the material, okay. How you know that material, yeah, is at the right temperature is you use a magnet, and you place the magnet against the piece of steel, and when it becomes non-magnetic, it's at the right temperature. So what does that tell you? It tells you that carbon-based elements, when they reach a certain temperature, they lose magnetism. Now, are we not told that the core of our planet is iron, molten iron? Molten iron cannot be magnetic.
Did you know that the Earth curve formula is 8 inches per mile squared? If that's true, then we shouldn't be able to see Mount San Jacinto from 123 miles away from Malibu. There should be 7,000 feet of curvature, but when you turn on the infrared lens, we see the mountain come into full view. Try it for yourself. The best camera to use is a Nikon P1000. Go to flatearthdave.com to see more experiments like this one, and download the app to connect with like-minded people that are truly awake.
We supposedly went to the moon and sent a rover to Mars, but the curvature of Earth has still never been proven. Make it make sense. Scientific facts that you don't know. No scientist has ever been able to produce an experiment showing how water can curve around and stick to a sphere. Even though it's accepted as real, gravity has never been proven and is still just a theory. The Earth is flat and space is fake.
Look, Ma, I landed on the moon.
Before we wrap this up, I have to ask something real quick because I'm retarded, right? And I might just not be able to grasp this concept. But when you have an image like that from the moon and they're looking at the Earth, why in these images does the Earth look very small? When the way my brain works, Earth is significantly bigger than the moon. And so our perspective looking at the moon, if we were on the moon looking at the Earth, it should be way fucking bigger than the moon that we in this, you know what I mean? There should be and it should take up, and to my really uneducated estimate, this thing should take up your periphery. You should be sitting on the moon looking at the Earth, and it should be like you got to turn left to see one edge and then turn right to see the other edge.
That assumes that you'd be standing on the moon at this point. What if you're standing on the moon over here and the Earth is there?
Well, that's the thing. All the places that they landed on the moon, the Earth would have been above their head, like the moon is above ours, because they landed on the light side that faces us. So everywhere
so
they
have
were
to
walking,
go like this.
They'd have to look up in order to do it, in order to get.
And it would be like, it would be all in like it would be the whole. It would look like you had a ceiling above you,
a blue sky. That's actually really interesting. If whatever's above you would look like a blue sky,
it means that they couldn't do that because you'd see the ceiling of the studio. Because you'd see the ceiling of the studio.
There's actually, like, since this is about flat Earth and you want proof of flat Earth, there's 2 quick things I sent you. Top, let me see, the very first one I sent you, it's 1 minute and 14 seconds. A lot of people will argue and say, oh, they do that because it's easier to calculate. But listen.
NASA document assumes a flat, non-rotating Earth. Georgia Institute of Technology, on behalf of NASA, the model used is a flat, non-rotating Earth. Technical memo from the NASA Langley Research Center, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Technical Memorandum, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA publication on the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model. flat, non-rotating Earth, and flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA contractor, flat, non-rotating Earth, and flat Earth assumptions. NASA Ames Research Center, non-rotating flat Earth. Army Research Laboratory, flat Earth. Army Research Laboratory, propagation of electromagnetic fields over a flat Earth. Army Research Laboratory, a flat Earth approximation provides the best estimate. NASA Technical Paper, stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Technical Memo, a non-rotating Earth. MIT Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics, flat Earth, flat Earth. NASA Memo, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Contractor Report, assumption based on the Earth is flat and non-rotating. NASA Technical Memo, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Technical Paper, stationary atmosphere and flat, non-rotating Earth assumptions. NASA Technical Note, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA Langley Research Center, flat, non-rotating Earth. Army Research Laboratory, these equations assume a flat Earth. Even the Soviets made their assumptions based on a flat Earth.
For the audience who's just listening, what we just looked at was a bunch of different, basically the way they make their calculations across a bunch of different technical spectrums. They're in all the manuals. It says that these calculations are predicated off of the model that they're based off of is a flat, non-rotating Earth. So in other words, and these are all NASA documents. So in other words,
they're like, listen, guys, we're actually trying to get some shit to work here.
we got
the Earth is set. The Earth is round, but for all of our formulas, for all intents and purposes, everything that we're basing this off, the model is flat and stationary.
And they will argue this. They will argue this day and night in the comments when you post something like this. It's either that or it's like, oh, all of a sudden you trust NASA? You say NASA's liars. But there's a big difference between what they put out on TV and what people get from FOIA requests, which is part of the reason they're starting SpaceX, is because FOIA requests don't work on private companies. NASA gives $30 billion to SpaceX to now take over and bring stuff up to the space station. Guess what? We have no right to ask anything about any of those missions because it's a private company instead of NASA. Done.
Bingo.
The Earth is round, but for all of our formulas, for all intents and purposes, everything that we're basing this off, the model is flat.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived from 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also of the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alankar, known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo. I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific Ocean where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional map maker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.